This guy is a loser. He made a circuit board at 4, built a V12 engine at 8, graduated top of his class from MIT at 17, and became CEO of the largest US arms manufacturer at 21. He's labeled a playboy for having a new woman in his bed daily. Though considered rich, he merely owns a small island with a tiny house. His achievements pale in comparison to my fans. You ask who he is? He's Tony Stark. You might not know him, but when he stands on the assembly line, not only will your adrenaline spike, you'll recognize him instantly. The story of how a romantic playboy became a revered superhero starts with an arms deal. Tony was showcasing his new missile to the military. The missile was powerful, and Tony's pose was cool, landing a $500 million deal in minutes. But with his arrogance, it was no surprise he was about to face trouble. On his return, Tony's convoy was ambushed. He hid behind a rock, calling for help, when a Stark Industries missile struck nearby, putting him in a deep coma. He woke up in a cave with an iron plate on his chest linked to a car battery. A doctor saved him, explaining that the iron plate was the only thing stopping shrapnel from hitting his heart. The terrorists who attacked him came in, and their leader demanded Tony build a missile. Tony agreed, asking for materials under the guise of building a missile, but he was actually crafting an escape suit. He extracted 1.6 grams of palladium from the missile materials to create the first arc reactor, replacing the bulky battery. Tony informed the doctor that the reactor halted the shrapnel and powered the suit for 15 minutes. This was the blueprint for the first Ironman suit. 3 months passed, and the terrorists noticed Tony's work looked less like a missile. The bald leader warned Tony that if he didn't finish by tomorrow, there would be consequences. Tony had already put on the armor, waiting for the program to load so he could activate it. He needed more time, so he charged out of the cave, only to be stunned by the sight. This was the first Iron Man suit, making him look bulky. Trapped in the cave, Tony easily took out the guards once the program loaded. At the cave entrance, he found the doctor, who had become a friend over the past 3 months, dying. Tony felt he had it all but nothing. Furious, he stormed out of the cave, leaving the terrorists clueless about what faced them. Tony fired his flamethrower, taking out the guards, and as he left, he pushed the base, creating a mushroom cloud behind him. The Mark I suit carried Tony out, but due to material and environmental limitations, it could only perform simple jet jumps. He leapt out of the base, crashing into the desert, saving his life. Tony was rescued by a military search team. Upon returning home, Tony recognized the value of life. He believed his weapons safeguarded people, but they caused harm. His first move was to hold a press conference to halt Stark Industries' weapon production and sales, sparking controversy. The second-in-command attempted to convince Tony to reconsider, but he remained firm. They separated unfriendly. At home, Tony created the second-generation arc reactor, enlisting his assistant Pepper to replace and dispose of the old one. Pepper made a keepsake that saved Tony's life. Tony focused on developing the second-generation suit, mastering flight and overcoming challenges. The suit assembly began. When he put the helmet on, did you ever wish you had that suit? Tony couldn't wait to fly it, smiling the happiest he ever had. He soared over New York, a boy in a Ferris wheel dropping his ice cream in awe. Tony tested how high the suit could fly, discovering it would freeze at 40,000 feet, causing the electronics to fail in a rapid descent. Just in time, he activated the thrusters, flying back.